You did it. You have taken the bold steps of becoming an activist, either by completing one of our reading plans, or browsing our website or social media accounts, or just finding this video and wanting to learn more about how to be a political activist in the United States of America. This is an important and, like I said, bold commitment. Why do I say this? Because activists have literally been the people that have shaped the face of America, that have shaped the history of America. And if you've completed one of our reading plans, this is something that you've most definitely learned. The power and importance of persistence and wisdom in activism. So today I want to break down the wisdom behind activism and some practical steps you can take beyond your reading plan or beyond simple reading on our website or social media accounts. So let's talk about the practical steps. So the first step is understanding government and reflecting and understanding American history. Again, we all know that we need to learn from the lessons of history, but understanding American government is very important because we have to understand the transaction that government exists to provide for the American people. Government is meant to protect our liberties, and this is why it's very important to do our Constitution reading plan, because you learn what those liberties are and what liberties the government does not have. It's important to hold government accountable. And by studying history, it's important to hold ourselves accountable to make sure that we don't repeat the mistakes of our ancestors or the mistakes of people from American history. So that outlines the importance of it. And if you've done the Constitution reading plan, you've learned about the formula to freedom. You've learned about the importance of studying the Constitution, knowing the Constitution, reading it, obviously, by studying and knowing it, and thereby teaching the Constitution and asserting and defending constitutional rights. So if you haven't done the Constitution reading plan, I highly recommend you do that. And if you have, do not neglect these important steps in the formula to freedom. They're quintessential per Chief Justice John Jay. So then we get into the next step. You have to understand what you believe in. You have to understand what you believe in because you have to engage in conversations with either people at work or with people at the dinner table or even sometimes with people on social media. So to make sure that these conversations are effective, make sure you first understand what you believe in before you try to assert that belief to others. And I recommend you do this by taking some time to handwrite it, not type, but handwrite your beliefs. Get some statistics if you need to, or include a personal story. But when you handwrite something, it has to make sense. And that is why it's the most effective way to formulate your belief, because you have to make it make sense to you before you can make it make sense to others. So then we get into the next step. Run for office. I know this sounds silly, I know this may sound scary, but running for office is one of the most important things that you can do in society. And I know that the common excuse that I hear is, well, I'm not educated enough, or sometimes it's even, I don't have the right personality or charisma. Whatever the case may be, people throughout history, people from the poorest man to America, richest man and woman to America, these people have shaped the history and nation that we are today. In fact, the people that signed the Declaration of Independence, the poorest man in America was there in signing this Declaration of Independence, and the richest man in America. Additionally, 25% of the framers of the Constitution grew up in single-parent households. This even included George Washington, who is known to be one of the most intelligent and incredible presidents in our history. 25% of them also did not have a college education. And considering all of these circumstances, they still formed the most brilliant constitution that our world has ever known. This could be you, and our government needs people from different perspectives, different educational backgrounds, different occupations, different beliefs and thinking systems to come in so that we can have good, equal representation in our nation, so that we can have a better United States of America. Another thing you can do is volunteer for campaigns or nonprofits. Volunteering for campaigns is great, and I commend anyone that does it. And if you can commit time to it, please do. But change doesn't stop in politics. You can make a difference in important policy or community or societal problems by simply volunteering in your community. So for example, if you're passionate about unemployment, or if you're passionate about sex trafficking, or if you're passionate about homelessness, you can find local nonprofits that deal with some of those issues and volunteer your time with them. If you're passionate about helping teach people and simplify complex government systems and history so that people can be more engaged citizens, then you can volunteer for We the People Institute. We would love to have you. That's just another important thing that you can do, and nonprofits specifically are commonly overlooked. Another step is self-government. You need to govern your morality so that you can be a good citizen. We can't have a good nation if we don't have good people in the nation, right? So in order to influence our government leaders correctly, we need to make sure that our morals and our values are good and that they're in line actually with our values, because oftentimes we let the opinions or the beliefs of others shape what we value, and that's not right either. Another important thing that you can do is petition your government leaders. Write, call, email. They're so important, but nothing beats the power of a handwritten letter, because it's something that they have to keep, log. So write handwritten letters if you can. I know it's something that's difficult in our very technologically advanced society, but some things should just be done old-fashioned, and this is one of them. Write to them, but not just when it's something that's bad, but also when they do something that's good in your opinion. We want to make sure that we're both affirming the good behavior and correcting the bad or bad actions. So then we get into the last, and most would say one of the most important steps, which is voting. The importance of voting should never be understated. Voting is a way for us to be the compass for government. Without voting, government has no compass. So make sure to get out there, exercise your beliefs, exercise your sound in government by voting. It's so incredibly important. So with all of these steps combined, we can and we will shape the history of America, because again, if you look at history, it's the activists, the people that take the time to do things like I just said, that have and did shape the history of America. So let's do it together, and never forget, how can you change a nation that you don't understand? But more so, how can you change a nation that you never even try to change? Take the steps to change with us at We the People Institute. Thank you for watching. Go be an incredible activist.